Hi, welcome to Clay Center Now. I'm Shannon Stark, the Director of Clay Center Area Chamber of Commerce, and today we are going to be talking all about Piotique. The Piotique celebration is going on the last Saturday in September 29th, and today with me I have our Grand Marshal of the parade, Renee Langvart. The board was very excited to announce her as the Grand Marshal. She's been very involved in Clay Center and our community, and it's an honor for her to be the Grand Marshal of the Grand Parade on Saturday of Piotique. So Renee, go ahead and tell us kind of about your history with Clay Center and how long you've been here.
Okay. So I moved to Clay Center in 2006, and it's kind of melancholy for me to look back, and my children have grown up here. They have been in the school system their whole life. They started preschool here, and it's just been awesome seeing them develop and bloom in this community. And I moved here in 2006. In 2007, I opened up a business called Shoes Etc., and I was the manager of that business. And a few years later, I was able to purchase that business and make it my own. And if people recall, that's when Total Addiction was formed.
Yes. That
was 2011. And then in 2013, I really needed to diversify, kind of make the business kind of touch more people, reach different demographic, things like that. And that's when I put Java Junkies in.
Yes.
And that was in 2013. Okay. Yes. Spent some time developing that, and I believe not necessarily that fast growth is a bad thing, because it's never growth is growth, you know.
Right.
But I do believe in slow growth is kind of for longevity sometimes, and I think that's what kind of happened with Java Junkies. And I was able to nurture that business for quite some time, and in 2015 then, I decided that it had grown up enough and decided it could live on its own and separate the two businesses. So in 2016, Total Addiction became its own business, and Java Junkies became its own business. And worked on that for a while. Excuse me. I had gone through a couple programs through the Economic Development Group, and one of them was the Destination Business Boot Camp with in Longmont, Colorado. And it literally changed my life. And it was such an instrumental part of me as a business person that it helped me to take the rose-colored glasses off my business and really look at my business from the perspective of, what do I have to do to make this business grow, like really grow? And that meant shutting down Total Addiction. And a lot of people, when I made that decision, a lot of people, I had mixed responses from that, obviously. A lot of sadness. People were, you know, very upset.
I know. Where am I going to buy my boots now?
Yes.
It's my favorite place to buy my boots.
And it was met with mixed reviews, and people were either very sad and kind of like your response, like, where can I buy stuff now? Which, you know, really warms my heart.
Right.
That it was a really important part of the local economy here in Clay Center. However, from a business standpoint, it was not a healthy business. And that's kind of what I was looking at, and those were things that I used in determining what was the healthier of the two businesses. Like, where do I need to put my eggs? I need to put my eggs in one basket, so which one is it? Is it smarter to kind of split my resources and split my focus and work on both of them, or is it better just to focus on one? And I always think it's interesting because John Schallert, who is the owner, the developer, the creator, the mastermind behind the Destination Business Bootcamp, we were awarded a home visit by him because so many people from Clay Center went to that seminar.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So we had the honor of having John come to our community. And for those of us that went through the business boot camp, we were then awarded a home visit. So he got to come and spend hour, 2 hours at my business. He walked into my business, and then he walked into total addiction, and he said, well, I can tell you right now which one's the stronger of the two businesses. And I said, how do you know that? And he said, it's obvious. And that's really, that was a pivotal moment in my life where I started to go, okay, so I need to be looking at this. And so I made the decision to close.
Yeah. And
focus all of my attention on Java Junkies and see where I could take that business. And it was the right decision.
Yeah.
It was the smart thing. It was it opened up the door for Clay Center Floral.
Right.
And now her business is thriving.
Right.
We have a fantastic gift shop and floral shop right on the square now.
Yes.
And so it was really like apparent to me that that was the correct decision.
Right.
So,
very good.
Yeah.
And you were in my position recently. You were the director of the chamber for how many years?
I was the director for 5 years.
5 years.
I stepped into that role. There was a vacancy in the role, and I have such a strong passion for this community and the businesses and the people that constantly give back to it. And I had a unique position simply because I myself was a business owner, and so I could see the need from the other side, and I started, looking at that and thinking, not enough people are paying attention to the business owner rather than just the community, which is still a very important and viable thing. One cannot exist without the other. And there was the position opened, and I said jokingly to Jason Kling, who was on the board at the time, he said, why don't you apply for that position? And I said, how am I going to do that? And he said,
yet you did a wonderful job.
And he said, well, we need someone with a business degree and marketing. And I said, that's exactly what I am. And I applied for it and got the position, and it really became really who I was.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a job to me. It really became an integrated part of who I am.
Very cool.
So I don't regret any of my time spent with the Chamber of Commerce at all.
Yeah.
No, not one single minute.
And we still need you for a little while.
Yes.
Okay, great. We are here with Renee Langvart for Clay Center Now, talking about Piotique, and she's our Grand Marshal this year.
The living room. It's a great place to watch TV. Just like your backyard, break time at the office, or waiting for your ride. Now you can watch TV everywhere. Stream your favorite shows or live TV from many channels in your cable package on any computer, tablet, or smartphone. It's all included with your Eagle Communications TV service for no extra cost. Sign up to watch TV everywhere today. Call or visit eaglecom.net to learn more.
Welcome back to Clay Center Now. We are talking with Renee Langvart. She is the Grand Marshal for Piotique 2018. And we were just talking about your role with Chamber and how you served as the director for 5 years. What other opportunities came along in those 5 years within the community?
In the last segment, I talked about how I don't regret any of my time with the Chamber. One of the reasons that being the Chamber director was so pivotal for me was that it opened up doors for me to be able to integrate myself in other organizations throughout the community, ones that I feel really strongly about. This actually happened before my position with the Chamber, but I'm a founding board member for the Clay Center Business Association. And essentially what we are is a co-op advertising group, and we collectively come together once a month and try to create incentives for customers and community members, promotions, events, anything that will get people downtown and participating in the businesses. Not necessarily to only spend money in the businesses, although that is a huge part. When you support a local business owner, you're keeping the community thriving. It's different than a corporation. And so the CCBA has just grown and grown and grown. And so I'm very proud of that entity. I'm very proud of the work that we've done, the progress that we've made. Right now we're at an all-time high with not board members, but members. And there's so much truth to their strength in numbers.
Right.
We can do so much more when more people are active and more people are moving forward together. So the CCBA, I've remained on that board, and currently I'm the secretary. It kind of shifts back and forth, and so I can never remember.
Yeah.
But so we're still working on right now. We had a meeting this morning, and we've been planning all of our Christmas events, and so, we just want good things for the community. The other board that I'm involved on, and that came because of my involvement with the chamber, and one that I also feel incredibly passionate about, is CCAN. And what our board is responsible for is the incentive to beautify the downtown. And there's so many different parts of that equation that will ultimately just be better for the community. And we're a volunteer board, and we come together at least once a month. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 times a month. And we are actively pursuing avenues to make our downtown even better.
Yeah.
And our gateways, and the ways that people perceive us from the outside communities, what we really look like. I'm a big advocate for taking those rose-colored glasses off, because what happens is that we become so complacent in what we're doing that things get missed. And because it's always been that way, we don't notice it the way that an outsider would.
Yeah.
And the reason that that is so important is because ultimately how our community is seen is best seen through an outsider's perspective. If we want to attract people to our community, like, we know we're fabulous, but do
what
other
is that first impression
exactly
downtown?
And what do they really think about that?
Yeah.
Because there's times where I think that well, they know that, and then I talk to someone and they have no idea.
Right.
And so it ultimately opens up an opportunity for us to be better.
Right.
And I'm all for being better. I'm all for, on a personal level, on a business level, and then on a community level. Because the better we are, the better we appear to other people. And I've used this quote before, especially when I was endorsing the school bond issue, which I also believe wholeheartedly in, but our community can only get as big as we allow it to be. So a fish will only get as big as the water it's in.
Right.
You want the fish to grow, you put it in a bigger pond. And so I've always used that analogy just to kind of put an image in the community's mindset of what it is that we want for our community. The reality is that, part of our town is an aging population. You're a perfect example. You are a young family that have moved back to this area, and you have a child, and from a middle-aged person, I guess you could say that. My kids are getting to the end of the school years. We want this community to continue to bring people back like you.
Right.
And not die off, and to not, and so the only way that we can get that done is with growth.
Right.
And to be attractive to younger generations, because ultimately the competition is getting harder.
Yeah.
The bigger towns have more to offer sometimes, but I do believe that they lack something that we have, and that's where the authenticity of Clay Center comes in.
Right.
And so all of those different things are, I think, what I'm the most proud about with my roles here in Clay Center, pushing the community along to embrace change and not be terrified of it, because,
it's exciting.
It is. It's such a huge opportunity. So.
Yeah. Well, we will be back talking about what her current roles are in the community and all the things we have coming up with Piotique 2018.
Eagle Communications is your ultimate business partner. We provide business class phone with customizable features and fast, reliable internet. Your knowledgeable team at Technology Solutions has a broad base of IT services to meet your needs. Let the experts at Marketing Solutions get your message to the right people on the best platforms. The only piece missing is your business. Call Eagle Communications today at 877-61-EAGLE.
And welcome back to Clay Center Now. We're talking to Renee Langbart. We've talked about a lot of roles that she has in the community, her chamber involvement, CCBA, CCAN, she's on that board, but your new and exciting role is the manager of the newly renovated Rex Theater. So tell us how that's going. You guys have been open now for...
Just about a month.
Just about a month.
Yep, maybe 5 weeks. I love my job. It's just a fantastic position for me. I said this to somebody the other day and they kind of looked at me and it's the truth. I'm good at this kind of thing.
Right.
This is something that, an environment that I thrive in. Not only on a personal level do I absolutely love movies, and those that are closest to me know that I can drop a movie quote at the drop of a pin. Your sister knows that because I used to send them to her all the time. So just on a personal level, I love being around the whole movie going atmosphere, the live performance atmosphere, things like that. I just truly, truly love it. Not only for the simplicity of entertainment, but there's something about the arts, whether it be a movie-going experience or live theater, it just enhances our life so much.
I can imagine everyone that comes to your business is just joy. It's just joy. It's exciting. They're either on a date night or with their children or,
And there's just so much involved with it on so many different emotional levels. And, I think sometimes people brush like movie theaters off, like, oh, it's just a movie theater. And that might be true of some theaters. However, this one, because of the incredible history behind it and the memories that people have and the authenticity of the structure itself, it just really adds to the whole package completely.
The whole experience.
Yes, it's a remarkable job. I'm so thankful that I was offered the position. It's good for me. Yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job, and it's just such a big thing for our community.
It is.
So big that we are theming this year's Piotique around it. Hollywood hits Clay Center, and you really spoke on that to the board about how it is a little piece of Hollywood right here in Kansas in Clay Center. Talk about, I know you've told me, but tell everybody else about, kind of the feedback you're getting from Hollywood when you talk about our little theater.
So the first few weeks that I, was working at the theater, it was really an eye-opener experience talking to Hollywood, because that's who I talk to. And it seems like it's kind of another world, and in some aspects it is. But having these conversations with these people, the first thing I remember understanding is that, Hollywood is not all about the actors and actresses, that there's all the people behind the scenes that keep Hollywood going.
Right.
And they're the ones that are the brains behind everything. Not to diminish an actor's importance, but they pretty much show up and do their job, and then even more hard work goes into their performance as far as editing and all that kind of stuff. But then you have all the different other avenues that come out from the actual movie experience. Then you have booking agents, and you have contractors, and you have people that print the posters and just so many things.
So many people.
And when I was working on our point of sale system, I was talking to, his name is Boomer, I just love this guy. And I was talking to Boomer and Max pretty much multiple times a day. And eventually we all confessed to Facebook stalking each other, because you start to talk to someone and you want to know what they're about or what they look like. It kind of puts a personality behind the voice. And so we, all giggled about that kind of a thing. And these guys were blown away by our community, and they were looking at pictures and they just could not get over the authenticity that Clay Center offered. And they continued to go on and on about, you just don't see towns like this anymore. And several of them made reference to, it's like Hollywood, the old Hollywood, and how our community looks like something that's in a Hollywood movie.
Right.
And it really struck me, and it hit me that here we are, like, we look at people would appear to be a glamorous lifestyle, right? You think Hollywood glamour, living it up, rich and famous and all of that. And yet here are these people that were envious of our community.
Right.
And so it really made me, that saying, the grass is always greener. And then I always throw in, you should water the grass that you're on, because that's really, the grass will get greener if you water it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really great reminder for us all to know that we're not forgotten, even though we're small, and that people do notice us, and then when they do find us, they're overwhelmed by how awesome we are.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was just really, really cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we've had experience with that before. When the AmeriCorps kids came here a couple years ago, I think you were still at school, or in Lindsborg maybe. Yeah. And, here are these kids from all over the country, and they wanted to move here.
Right.
Because they were so overwhelmed by what
How
this
great
community, so Clay Center just needs to keep on being awesome.
Yeah. So, yes, we are so excited to have the theater reopened, but yet kept its history. And so Piotique is themed around Hollywood hits Clay Center, because we feel like there's a piece of Hollywood now. And there's all kinds of festivities going on that day. We'll have our vendors on the courthouse square as always. Our grand parade with our Grand Marshal, Renee Langvart, will be at 2 o'clock. And then we will actually have our beer garden for the second year going into the evening. So we hope people stick around downtown a little bit later. And it's exciting for me in the first year and to get it all started. And I think that our theme is just so perfect for the year, and kicking off the year of having the theater back. And so thank you to Renee Langvart for visiting with us. And,
happy to be here.
Promoting Piotique 2018 on September 29th. So thank you.